A very important update on Bitcoin, and I think everyone needs to see this right away. I have a couple of lines on my charts, and I'm going to explain exactly what they all mean so you get a good grasp. So here I pulled out the Fibonacci retracement from the previous 65K top to the bottom where we started back this uptrend. Now it's easy. If you follow us on this channel, you'd see that we drop a lot of Bitcoin updates that help you make decisions in your trades. Now you can see that we've moved all the way back up. Bitcoin has been on a very strong uptrend over the last few days right here since October. And then pulling up this Fib tool, you can see that the 100 Fib level is just around the 65K. The last top, the last all-time high basically. And it's easy to see that that same area could be resistance. As we're seeing right here, we've had about 3 days or 2 days, and this is the third red candle day right here. Let me zoom in this a little. So that's it for the fib. You can see that that 100 level is a resistance right here. So I'm just going to take that out to make this chart a bit neater. Now, if I zoom in here, you would see there are possibilities of where Bitcoin could fall to if we are to continue dropping right here. Now, we're still playing in this channel. We're still playing in this channel. Initially, if you watched the previous video, we thought we were going to go down to 52K, but then Bitcoin continued the uptrend right here. But then there are still possibilities of lower targets right here. If we are in an uptrend, I did not expect to see this lowest line basically, but then this is for you to know that Bitcoin can get up to these key levels that I'm watching. I'm taking out every other moving averages that I think are not so necessary. These are the key ones right here. And if eventually we continue this fall, last night Bitcoin closed in our private channel. We talked about this close below the 10 hour daily, and you can see that Bitcoin is using it as resistance. It's fighting it as resistance right here. We're still below the 10 hour daily, so there's still possibility of a continuous drop up to at least the 20 MA, even if we're in a strong uptrend. Every time Bitcoin makes a serious move upwards, there's always a pullback to the 10 MA daily and the 20 MA daily. So now we've dropped to the 10 MA daily, and there's a possibility of that 20 MA daily before a continuation, even if we're in a stronger uptrend right here. So that's around the 58K. The 20 MA daily is around the 25K region, 58,025 region right here. So you have to pay attention over this weekend and early next week to see what happens here. If Bitcoin does not fully back above the 10 MA daily, there's a chance we're going to 58K. That might happen fast enough. And if that happens, we're still forming a higher low in that case. Even if Bitcoin drops all the way down to 52K, guys, we're still in a higher low trend. So you have to pay attention. And 52K would just be around the this previous high right here. So we are still, it makes a lot of sense for Bitcoin to fall all the way down to 58. And in the case of a bad dump, we're going to have around the 53K, 5280, 800 region right here. And a very terrible scenario, we're going to see Bitcoin drop all the way to 40, as long as it doesn't go beyond 45K. But of course, we're not expecting that to happen. But this is Bitcoin, so anything can happen. But then again, there's something I want to show you. That's it for my strongest bias personally. Like I mentioned, is around the 58K region. I think we're strongly going to bounce. If we go lower, we're going to bounce around the 58, 57, 800 region thereabout. Now, something else I wanted to show you while I was pulling up this chart. I tried something on the bars pattern. If you watch the previous Bitcoin updates we did right here, I pulled up the bars pattern. I'm going to show that right here again. And I showed you how this bars pattern, measuring it from this last drop here, and how it looks quite similar to what we are seeing. So I'm going to pull up this bars pattern again and just pull it up somewhere here. I'm going to make this really cool. So from the July drop right here, we can see this is a daily candle. From the July drop right here, I think that's actually the October drop. That's what I'm personally looking for. Okay, so this is, I'm gonna have to pull this up again. So this is a bars pattern pulling up from where we bounced in July up to where we are at this point. So this is what it looks like. You can see that it's quite similar, very similar. Now if I have to pull this out and place it exactly after this September dump, you can see that we are having similarities again. We are having similarities again following this pattern. And that's why I tell you that the 20 Emma could be a very strong point, even if we fall all the way down here. But looking at this bars pattern, is not necessarily going to play out exactly the same. But looking at this bars pattern, you can see that there's a chance that Bitcoin could bounce right up from here and continue this move all the way here. Now, if you look at this pattern right here, you can see the steep drop at the tip of this 73K region. And I mentioned in the previous video how 73K was a very important area for us to watch because it serves as resistance right here. And even if Bitcoin goes all the way down following this pattern, you could see that it dropped back here at the bottom of this. If I push this up a bit, you're going to see. Let me see if this measures accurately. Just going to use the bit of auto here. So you can see if I push this trend line up to match exactly, you can see that we are going to sit at the neck of this bars pattern right here. Okay, just look at this. Just look at this, how this looks very interesting here. This drop will lead us back to just around the 58K region again. Even if we don't fall to this 58K region again, over the next couple of days, maybe around in December, you can see that following this pattern, we still fall back into this place and forming a low, a higher low again on the Bitcoin daily uptrend. So this can continue. That's why we think that this cycle could be lengthened into a couple next year, probably the next 6 months of next year or 4 months thereabouts. But you can see that this channel will play out correctly, even if we continue dropping right here. Eventually, there's a possibility of us getting back to 58K region, then continuing the uptrend here. So this is how this pattern works. So you just have to pay attention. Anyway, if you're jumping on this our channel for the first time, endeavor to hit that subscribe button, hit the like on this video, and turn on the notification bell so you get notified whenever we post any relevant content or Bitcoin updates that will help you make trading decisions like this. Bye and see you in the next video. Cheers.